translations for the past few weeks, and I silently translated as the clips flashed by. First, 15 seconds on how casualty numbers from the disease were still going down as more and more surprisingly tough and scrappy citizens emerged from hiding places, shaken but alive. Translation: the entire east coast of North America was a fucking graveyard, and places as distant as Brazil had seen upward of 10% of their population killed. 2 more days and the whole fucking world would have been dead, jiving and singing, doing dance moves. Then a happy story about the citizens of the System of Federated Nations African Department discovering they had a food surplus and electing voluntarily to send huge shipments of organics and nutrition tabs to other areas of the system more affected by the plague. This with lots of clips of smiling, celebrating people. People just fucking delighted to be living in the system. Translation: everyone, everywhere was starving before the fucking plague. And the way things were going, end tabs were going to be the new goddamn currency any day now. And if you didn't have any end tabs, you could cut off a finger and feed someone with that. And we'd all be eating each other, over and over again. The system gnawing itself raw. The rotten tenement down the street suddenly exploded. A plume of fire and masonry shooting out into the street below, the world shuddering and leaping. The skinny guy kneeling next to me cursed under his breath. I turned to watch the smoke and fluttering debris for a moment. It was beautiful. "They're okay, Sylvie," Fussy Beard behind me said, getting his report in his earbud. "The rats are holed up in a secret room, packed in like fucking roaches, and blew a charge when Solly came sniffing around. But they tripped it too soon and killed 2 of themselves, and we didn't even get a scratch." The 2 cops laughed. I smiled, too. This was fine. Everything was fine. The vid was now showing Dick Marin, the Emperor himself, Director of Internal Affairs of the System Security Force. No one was telling Dick what to do these days. Dick was discussing the need for a reorganization in the wake of the plague in order to make things more efficient. Translation: his nominal bosses, the Joint Council Undersecretaries, who thought they ran the system, were starting to give Marin flack, and he decided it was time to forcibly remind them of the real pecking order. From what I'd heard, he was going to find out they hadn't been sitting on their hands waiting for him to send his cops after them. I thought about the fucking mess things were going to become soon, and for a second almost wanted to stick around just to watch the fireworks. "Here they come. Look at those shitheads." They came stumbling out of the dust and smoke. 3 more of us, coughing and bleeding, followed by a knot of stormers in their grimy, flickering obfuscation kit that struggled to map itself to the swirling smoke and rain they passed through. Then the 2 officers, the bald one and the stiff, good-looking smiler that had taken me down and checked me off their list of people of interest, people too important, for whatever mysterious reason, to just kill. The 3 prisoners were young kids, teenagers. They were all wearing long, oily-looking coats and bright red pieces of cloth around their necks, black, homemade ink around their eyes melting onto their faces in gummy streaks. I'd seen that a lot recently. It was a fashion. The one in front was tall and skinny, with deep, cavernous cheeks and bright, wide-open eyes. He had a big scar on his forehead, old and leathery, and some fresh cuts all over his face. Even with his wrists laced up behind him, he walked steadily and with his head up. He was staring at me, and when the stormers brought them over to us, he took an extra 2 steps and landed next to me as someone swept his feet out from under him, sending him to his knees. "Fucking manners," the kid hissed. "You okay with these chumps?" Baldy shouted. "Fuck, Mage," one of the cops standing behind us shouted. "Yeah, we can handle babies and Gramps here." The kid next to me sucked in blood from his nose and spat it onto the street in front of us, where it was immediately washed away. "Babies. Fuck," he muttered. This was fine. Everything was fine. I didn't have any outrage anymore. I knelt there feeling nothing but cold and wet. No anger.